Charlotte from the Fairfax County Public Library, and today we are going to make salt dough turtles. So you're just going to need a couple of supplies. You're going to need a piece of cardboard covered by aluminum foil. You're going to need a half cup and a quarter cup measuring cup, flour, salt, water, a bowl, and a shoe. So let's get started. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to measure out a half a cup of flour. And so you're just going to put it in your half a measuring cup, and then you're going to put it in the bowl. And then you're going to measure out a quarter cup of salt. Now I like to do the salt before the water because it doesn't stick to the measuring cup then. So then you're going to put it in the bowl. And then you're going to measure out a quarter cup of water and put that in the bowl. So your bowl looks like this. Then you're going to take your spoon and you're going to stir and stir until it gets just a little bit clumpy. And at that point, I like to use my hands to make it into a ball of dough. It's almost like you're making a lump of bread. So you take up the dough in your hands like this, and you squish it together. And if it's just a little bit wet, you're going to add a little bit more flour to it. And if it's a little bit dry, you're going to add a little bit more water to it. Now mine happens to be a little bit wet, so I know I'm going to have to add a little bit of flour to it because you don't want it to get too sticky or it sticks to the bottom of your shoe. So I have my lump of dough and I'm kneading it in my hands. And so then I separate it into two lumps. And the first one I form into a ball by rolling it in my hands. And then I squish it into the shape of a sea turtle. Now, if you remember, a sea turtle has a bit of a wider top and a skinnier bottom. So something like this. And I put it on my piece of cardboard covered with aluminum foil. And if you want to squish it down a little bit more, that's cool. So once you have it on your piece of aluminum foil like this, you will take your shoe and you will press your shoe into the dough. And I do it a couple times because I like kind of a mixed pattern. But it looks like this. That looks a lot like a sea turtle shell. So now we need to add flippers to our sea turtle shell. And in order to do this, we take our last piece of dough and we divide it into 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's make the top flippers first. So the top flippers are bigger than the smaller bottom flippers because they move the sea turtle through the water. And the bottom flippers are smaller than the top flippers because they're like a rudder. And a rudder actually directs the sea turtle on where to swim. So in order to make both the top and the bottom flippers, you roll your piece of dough into a log or a snake and you make it into a C and you squish it down. And you do this 4 times. But the 2 on the top have to be a little bit bigger than the 2 on the bottom. So after rolling my pieces of dough into the snake and making a C and squishing it down 4 times, I made 4 flippers for my sea turtle. Now what is wrong with the sea turtle? That's right, he's missing a head. So That's pretty easy to fix because you take your last piece of dough, roll it into the ball, pat it down so it's kind of a flat head, and then you just stick it to the top of your sea turtle. Doesn't that look great? I'm sure yours looks great too. Now, your sea turtle is still wet, so I would recommend putting it in a nice sunny place, maybe a window or even a place that gets a lot of nice warm air like next to a heater vent, and let your sea turtle dry, and then you can decorate it with markers. And if you do use paint for your sea turtle, make sure it's not water-based paint because the water-based paint is going to dissolve your sea turtle, and that's not going to be any fun. Well, it was great doing this sea turtle activity with all of you today, and hopefully I can see you again, maybe even at the Fairfax County Public Library. Take care.